Hey ladies, I hope everyone had a very fun and safe Halloween. But I wanted to kind of share a quick story with you. And since I didn't want to type it all up because it's kind of a long story, um, I'll be quick as I can. I've been debating all week as to whether or not to dress up as a buster for my work. Now, let me kind of explain. I started a new job on Monday. It's kind of like a call center tech kind of job. Um, I get the job Monday, everything's great. Tuesday, everything's great. Now, Monday, when they had walked us around, there was like Halloween decorations everywhere. And the hiring person had basically informed us that Halloween is a really big thing for the company and they encourage everyone to come dressed up. And okay, fine. So I debate about it and I decide no, I should go in as a buster. But I pulled off the Arizona no-goes patch and put on the traditional one. And I put the pack and trap in the car and I drove to work in my uniform. But I left the pack and trap in my car before when I got out because I didn't know what security was going to do. I didn't want the 7-year-old security man to like throw me down to the ground and step on my neck going, ah! Yeah, I didn't want that. So I decided to just kind of go in with the uniform and see how that went. I go in, the old guy opens the door and he's like, "Hey, who are you gonna call?" So I'm like, "Yes, he knows what I am." Awesome. So I take the elevator down into the dungeon where the training rooms are, go in. I open up the door and I am the only one dressed up. Yay! So now I am that person. But people, hey, who are you gonna call? Who are you gonna call? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they're like, hey, where's your power pack? And I'm like, it's in the car. And everyone's like, you're right. So, whatever. I sit down, and around 9 o'clock, the number two guy of the entire building walks in, and he's like, going up and down, introducing himself to all the new people, and he gets to me. He's like, "Hey, Ghostbusters, yeah!" And he kept kind of like saying it over, like, "Hey, that's so cool, yeah, Ghostbusters." So I thought he was just kind of making a point because I was the only one dressed up. Yeah. More on that in a second. So, anyways, I'm dressed up, and there was a message that had gone across the queue um, saying that, hey, we're gonna do a costume contest. If you have a costume, you haven't taken a photo, come upstairs and all that. So on my first break, I go upstairs. I go to the hiring gal's office, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Ghostbusters, that's so cool!" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." But here's the thing: I actually do have the pack, but it's in my car. Is it all right if I bring it in? She's like, "Oh, absolutely. Security will be fine. If not, tell them to call me. I'll get it situated." All right, fine. And she's like, "Have you come? What time do you have lunch?" "Noon." "Come after lunch around 12:30. We were planning on taking photos anyways." Awesome. Noon comes around, go get lunch, come back, put on the gear, and walk into the building. Now, I went from that person to that person, if you know what I mean. So I'm walking in, people are taking photos, and I'm just like, "Hi, hi." Uh, and I go upstairs to the hiring person's office. And as I'm walking out and I'm walking towards her office, I see that guy who had just come in that morning. He is standing there and he's in this white outfit. And I'm like, oh no. And sure enough, he spins around and he has two little red ties dangling around his neck. And I'm like, oh no. Yeah. The guy who had come down and kept pointing out that I was a Ghostbuster turns around, sees me, and goes, "Oh my gosh!" Dives into his office. And I'm like, oh no. Now there's several other head bigwig people in front of the hiring person's desk, or rather her office. And I'm like, oh my God, please don't, please don't. Everyone's like, oh, you look great. They're taking photos. That's when the number two guy pops out of his office wearing the Stay Puft Marshmallow head. Yes, he came as Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He had taken the costume off to do the introduction downstairs, but came back upstairs to put on his costume. So he's all laughing. Everyone thinks it's just great. Somebody made the joke, did you guys plan that? No, not at all. So he's all excited. he has the mask on his face and he's looking at me and he's asking me, "Hey, is that heavy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it can be." He goes, But can you run in it?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." He goes, "Chase me." Day 3 of this job, I am chasing the second guy on the top of the totem pole around the second floor of my building. Yeah. So not only am I that girl, but I'm that girl. But I'm really that person, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. So there's pictures and video of me on, I'm sure, a lot of people's Facebooks, whatever. But the icing on the cake, boys and girls, is I won the costume contest. And because I am in tier 2 and I work, I'm kind of like a contractor, sort of, for AT&T. They passed the pictures and video onto the other tier 2 buildings in the nation. Yeah. So all my fears had come true. Now I'm getting messages on my queue from people, not around the country, but I gotten at least 2 messages from somebody in Texas and someone in Florida saying, "Hey, where'd you get that?" Yeah. Was it worth the 2 movie tickets? Was it worth the $50 gift card? I don't know. But guess what? I'm that girl. I just thought I'd share that with you. Pictures will come. But yeah, I thought to share that. Long story. I hope you guys are having a good time. There's a Tucson Comic Con for the Arizona Ghostbusters here. Also a walk. I hope you guys, because now the weather is starting to cool down quite a bit for some of you. Everyone is safe and healthy and doing well. And yeah, keep posting. I love how we as a community have been just adding to this. So yeah, keep it up, ladies. Take care. Bye.